title of this video. Oh wait, hold on. Let me get this a little louder. There we go. The title of the video today is, protecting yourself from energy stealers. And to understand what an energy stealer is, you gotta understand, what energy is. And energy is basically, any and everything damn near. Moving, talking, thinking, anything in that sense of the sort, just sitting there for 20 minutes and thinking about something takes energy. Anything that requires you to put in some sort of force or effort, whether it be physically, mentally, or spiritually, which is going to be damn near anything, requires energy. So that's the first thing to keep in mind. What's next is identifying the two different types of emotions, because your emotions are tied to your energy, and they're actually one of the biggest energy givers or energy takers. And there's only two different categories of emotions, and everything else kind of just falls in those two categories. And you have love-based emotions and you have fear-based emotions. Love-based emotions are associated with positive energy, whether you are giving someone that emotion and giving them that energy, whether you're receiving that emotion and you're receiving that energy. So, these energies I'm talking about, love-based. So whether it be happy, joyful, glee, whatever, synonym that you could think of that kind of has to go with happy, energetic, upbeat, any of those type of synonyms, you could use those and associate those with love-based emotions. That's why you'll hear somebody say a phrase or something like that, wow, when Michael comes around, he just gives us life. He's just so funny. I just love being around him. Those love-based emotions, that laughter, that is one side of it. Then you have the other side, fear-based emotion. You got hate, you got worrying, you got being sad, you got, these emotions are associated with taking energy. So if someone is making you sad, it's you're dealing with that loss of energy by that person sending those emotions your way. So the energy that they are putting out is affecting you in a way that is making you sad and is taking away your energy. Hopefully that makes sense. So when you identify those, then you can start to, before we even get to people, because that's what really this video is about. Before we get into people, just certain emotions, just certain behaviors, certain foods, these are all energy stealers. Anything that you eat that afterwards is gonna have you laid back and you're half dead. And I'm a realistic person, so you do this during a holiday, during a celebration, even 1 week out the month, you may go out to eat and pig out. That's different than something that you're doing every night or every single day or multiple times throughout the week or something, because that is also something that's going to take your energy, because you are what you eat. So if you're not, and this is something you 100% have control over, because sometimes the exterior things where you have to work, where you may be going to school, certain places you have to go to, the grocery store, you sometimes don't have control over those environments, and those places can be big energy takers and places where you have to protect your energy. But as far as things what you eat and things like that, that is all 100% in your control, and that's one way that you can be taking or giving yourself energy based on what you put inside your body. And aside from that, then this next thing is how are you thinking? Are you aligning yourself with thoughts that promote positive energy, or are you aligning yourself with thoughts that promote negative energy? And anything that's going to be negative is going to be an energy stealer. You can kind of just think of it like someone, put a vacuum on you and they're sucking your life force out. And that's why it's when you're sad, when you're depressed, when you're down, you might have been excited about something, you go tell somebody and they hit you with some negativity. What they said, they just threw that negative energy your way, and now it's like, now you're down with them. And you know, these are like where the phrase is misery loves company comes from. It's like, you know, people who are aligned on that negative energy taking frequency, and they want to bring you down with them. They see how much energy, they see how upbeat you are, they see how lively you are, and they want to take that from you. They want to bring you down with them. And sometimes that's why it could be so hard to be around certain people, because you want to be laughing, you want to be having a good time, you want to be doing good things, and they want to be like arguing, they want to be debating, they want to be operating on these fear-based emotions that are nothing but energy takers. And that's why you naturally, because we naturally know these things, we just don't realize what we're saying or really take credence to it because it's natural for us. But you naturally start to say something like, man, Kyle is draining. Like, I don't like being around Holmes. Like, Holmes, you know, he be doing too much. That shit is draining. Like, but that's exactly, you know, what you need to be more mindful of. And this is another thing where journaling and stuff like that comes in handy. Is why I tell people not to think of their journal like a diary, like in a stereotypical way, even though it should be. Like, you should be writing down, like, you know, I went around Kyle and that nigga was annoying, so that was draining my energy, because that'll help you. Why was he annoying? What about him was annoying? You know what I'm saying? And those sometimes can just be in trigger situations. Now, some people, it was kind of the whole idea behind, or the inspiration behind this video. Now, some people are like vampires. You know, some people only come around to take your energy. They only come around when they see that you're happy, or they're just stuck on that misery loves company. So they know that wherever you are, you know, you're doing well, you're doing good without them. You may not need them in, or you may be in a place of happiness and they're not, and they're always constantly, you know, coming around just to take from you. And even if you don't realize that you have someone in your life like this now, you know, now would be a good time to address the people that you have around you and things that you have around you. Like, how does this serve you? How does this person serve you? How does talking to this person make me feel? How does texting this person make me feel? How does it, you know, what is it like when we're hanging out? How do I feel when I start to think about that? Am I hearing that Kyle is going to be at the party and I start to get antsy, I start to get agitated? You know, these are the things we have to think about, because you have to protect your energy at all costs. You know, this is how you stop yourself from getting burnt out, or getting burnt out, or feeling too drained, or feeling like lifeless, or, you know, like you just can't get out of bed, or you can't do anything because you have given too much of your energy away without taking the time to recenter yourself and build it back up. You know, we're really like I always make the analogy, like we're like a computer, we're like a phone, but we are, you know, you have a battery that needs to be recharged. It's recharged through rest and relaxation. You know, we're always on the go. Aside from even these stereotypical things that you may have not already known, like, you know, people being vampires, bad thinking, and bad foods. You know, there's other things that are energy takers too that you may be overlooking. Excuse me. Your job, you know, even if you love your job, the fact that you may have a job where you have to give so much of yourself, if you have to do a lot of talking, if you have to do a lot of moving, if you have to do a lot of going back and forth, have to do a lot of thinking. Some jobs require you to do all those things 24/7 all the time. You know, that is going to be a big energy taker. That's not necessarily 100% in a negative way, because it could be your business as well. It's not 100% in a negative way as to propose, like, it doesn't add anything to your life. It's not paying your bills, it's not helping you support your family, but it's still something to be mindful of, because if you are aware that this is happening, then you know, okay, well, if I know I'm going into work and I'm going to have to be talking a lot, maybe I need to eat this, or maybe I need to do this, or maybe I need to relax more so I have more energy to go in. That's another thing to think about. It's not just, you know, bad people. Certain situations you're not going to be able to avoid, and you have to be mindful. This is how you protect. Another way to protect yourself from getting sick. Sometimes people be confused. They're like, you know, I eat healthy, I do this, I do that, I meditate, I do all these things, but, you know, these is still little things that you have to be mindful of that go a long way. You know, this is, I always say it, it's the small things that we overlook sometimes that add a bigger piece in the overall puzzle. So your job is one of them. Your family, You know, a lot of times we can be, you know, in certain like lifelong back and forths with our family that we kind of feel stuck and attached to having to go through this, you know, because it might be like your brother or your uncle or even like your mom and dad, and it can definitely be an energy drainer. They can be an energy drainer. Just because they're your parent, just because they're your family member, that doesn't mean they have the best intentions. That doesn't mean that they're not out to get your energy just like any other vampire, you know. And that is also something that you have to be mindful of. And you have to accept that you don't have to go through that you don't have to deal with that you don't have to have anybody coming to attack you and latch on and, you know, have you going in these back and forths and have you stressing out yourself, and especially when it's with family, because that means you've probably been dealing with it from like, you know, since you were like old enough to talk and speak for yourself and stuff. So that's a big energy taker. Sometimes just thinking you have to live up to certain expectations. You know, your parent could be telling you you're supposed to be married and have kids and stuff by your 30 and you're 35 and none of those things have happened for you, and that's weighing heavy on your mind, and that's an energy stealer. You know, everything else is going good in your life and you have these made up expectations, and that's stealing your energy. And that's something that you have to think of. Friends fall under that category too. You know, again, you really have to assess and be honest and look around the people that's in your life and really ask, like, does this person add on to my life or does this person subtract? You know, what does they do for me? And it's not in a, oh, do they only buy me things, or do they only, you know, give me money, or is it only like some sort of monetary benefit, or they're only giving me food, or like, you know, you're not thinking about it in that way, in a capitalistic way. You're thinking about it in, you know, when I talk to this person, you know, what am I getting out of this? Because if it's leaving me upset, then why am I doing this? And that's what you have to get to, because a lot of times we can be scared to leave behind people who don't mean us no well, or leave behind people who are hindering us from getting to where we need to be on our journey. You know, we aren't used to, as crazy as it sounds, we aren't used to knowing that, you know, you don't need to have this bad person in your life. It's like, it's okay to have good people in your life. It's okay to actually have people who mean you well and want to send you good positive energy. You know, you don't have to go through those and deal with those energy stealers on purpose. You know, you don't have to be dealing with them. And yeah, that's basically it. I know I have another video on protecting your energy, and this is kind of just like a follow-up to it. But be mindful of anyone, I'll just go back over it. Be mindful of anyone who's always trying to like piss you off, always trying to get you to go into like back and forths and debates. You know, when you're done talking to them, it's like, you just feel so drained. You don't even want to talk no more. You don't want to do anything. It's like you're pissed off. Be mindful of places that you go and things that you do that require a lot of energy, and start game planning for how you're going to put back the energy that was lost and given to this certain activity or this certain place. And then lastly, you know, also be aware of your thoughts as well as what you're eating. You know, that's a basic part of it. That's something that you have control over. You know, gaining control of your thoughts is not as easy as gaining control of what you eat, but it starts somewhere. You know, it could start with what you eat, and then it could start with your thoughts, and then it could be you changing your thinking help you change the people that's around you. It might help you change the way you handle your job or handle your business. You know, you start little by little. You know, eventually you're gonna you get a strong foundation. You can build a skyscraper. You know, foundation just got to be strong. So be mindful of that. Be mindful of family, friends, people, anyone that you go around, that comes around you, that just leaves you feeling funny, you know. And also in the reverse, be mindful of things that make you feel good and the people who make you feel good, you know, and try to do more and be around those people more and less around the things that take your energy. So yeah, this is just a follow-up to protecting the energy video. If you've never seen that one, check it out to get more insight of what I'm saying here. You know, be mindful of your energy. You are like a phone, you know, and the phone doesn't operate. Your phone won't operate when it's on 0%. So I don't know why you should think that you can operate well when you're on 0%. So, make sure you're charging up your batteries.